Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about XRP. XRP is getting more and more interesting, but we also need to understand that we have not crossed that very important resistance level that I talked about in the last video. So with XRP, it obviously also reached my target area down here, that target area that we defined already back in November, and that is so important for many altcoins because that is the target area where with the highest probability they turn around, they can make a trend change. All right, even here in this case where XRP moved down into this region, touched the 78.6% Fibonacci retracement level at 57 cents and then has started to move up. But so basically very important to understand that as soon as a cryptocurrency or an asset, it can also be a stock, for example, we observed that recently with Palantir, with AMC, with PayPal, they also turned around. Yeah, it's a very similar story. And for example, with AMC, it made me, I think, around 80% profit in just within a couple of weeks or so, just because it moved down in a wave 2, very similar to what XRP is doing here and like many altcoins as well, in a wave 2 into this region between the 88.7% Fibonacci retracement level and the 78.6%, and it turned around. And this is exactly what XRP is doing as well. So it's not a thing that only altcoins are doing it or only Bitcoin is doing it. No, it is across various asset classes. When you have a young asset class, in this case the altcoins, they usually do this. But does that mean we already, so basically it means that the minimum requirements to complete the correction have been completed, but that does not mean that now we have already seen the trend change. I'm still a bit skeptical about this. Yeah, until we break that $1 level here, or $1.02, I've got on the chart here. Until then, I remain very skeptical. This is the level where it gets much more likely if we break that we can see a more significant push to the upside, and that we could really then be more confident and say, all right, the low was probably already in. At the moment, it is still too early for that. We have to bear in mind that something very similar, this looks generally interesting because you are, and we put it on the chart before here, this ascending triangle, you've got the ascending trend line, you're moving against a resistance level here, in this case at 87 cents. So you've got a bit of a zone here between 87 cents, which is the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level, a very important one, and that level here, that 91 cent level that was resistance before. So we had it on the chart here at around 90 cents. In between, we've got the 200-day moving average, a level where we also see currently Bitcoin struggle with. So it's not a big surprise that XRP is struggling with that as well. And you can see here this sort of accumulation. And if we really break here that, first of all, the 87 cent, but then the 91 cent, I think then fairly quickly, as we did it back here, end of December, we can move all the way up to that $1 level. And if we manage to break it, then I think much more upside potential is unlocked all the way, I think in the first instance, to $1.30. That is the 38.2% Fib level. But if we manage to hold above $1, that could really give us a very good confirmation that the low is already in. Until then, even though this looks fairly bullish here, this ascending triangle and whatnot, this does not necessarily mean anything, because we did the same thing back here before we actually crashed down in that wave B here when we moved up. And I often say a wave B can be very tricky. Many people burn their fingers in a wave B. So also here you had you could even call that an inverse head and shoulders here, or maybe even a bit of a cup and handle here, and that did not break out. Yeah, it was a fake out, that wave B, and we then started to move down here, and yeah, mainly already completed that wave C correction. So really here in this video to emphasize, we're approaching here the 200-day moving average, very important level, but really for a more sustainable breakout, we need to get past these previous highs here from end of November and the 23rd of December. You can see that here. And that is the $1 level, or $1.02 is really the top resistance level of that zone. In terms of what are actually the indicators doing well, let's take a look on the daily chart, because this might be similar to Bitcoin, where we're going to see the decision. So we can see that XRP is not yet overbought. Bitcoin is much higher on the RSI than XRP. So XRP has still more room for further upside. Maybe we could even see, let's say maybe the correction isn't finished yet, and maybe XRP can move all the way up to $1.02 and then will get exhausted. That would certainly be an option. The MACD, a little bit indecisive. We still have bullish momentum, but we can see that we already see the first color change here again. Yeah, so this looks completely different to what we had here before when we moved to new highs. Yeah, this was a strong run to the upside, and this here doesn't really look great. Yeah, all of these times before here on the MACD where we really started to see some prices go up as well, what we're doing now is looking completely different. But generally, I mean, there is more room for further upside also here on the 4-day chart, yeah, where you are seeing here the RSI only just getting above 50. Here on the 4-day chart, you certainly see that momentum increasing very nicely. And we also had the on that momentum indicator, we had here that bullish crossover here a few days ago. So from that point of view, the indicators certainly also on the daily chart, which is a bit different to Bitcoin, the longer term and the shorter term ones, they provide and they show further upside potential. Yeah, so XRP is very well equipped for further upside, but in terms of the downside potential, that is still very much there until we really break above that $1 level. So that is really the very important level that I'm watching out for. But as you know, I already bought XRP down here, so I pretty much bought the low already on the way down actually, but I bought here very close down here. Just really, as I said, these are very interesting levels, and in terms of the risk, yeah, for me down here it was very much like, right, the downside potential or the downside risk is very low compared to the upside risk, which means that not going in and then missing the pump is probably much worse. So yeah, I'm glad that I did buy obviously XRP, but it's the same story for many other altcoins that yeah, they could have all the altcoins that have reached my target areas, and most of them have been reached. They could possibly have completed their correction already, and XRP is one of them. But as I said, before we reach that $1 level and break it, there is still very much downside potential. Yeah, so I'm really still skeptical, but of course I can't tell you we're not going to break out to the upside. We are just below very important resistance level here, that 61.8% Fibonacci level, and also the 200-day moving average. So this is also similar to Bitcoin, where we are going to see more of a decision of where the price is going to head in the next few weeks. Here exactly this breakout formation, and then you've got the 200-day moving average. So when you see that break, then we can see that potential all the way up to $8. Now that's my view here on XRP. Hopefully that video was useful. If you liked it, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.